He's a Frenchman who is extremely well known for his proficiency with the AWP, and he's also a one-time major winner. Let's take a deeper look at the career of the AWP God himself, KennyS Schrub. If you're having a conversation about the best French Counter-Strike players ever, one name that will inevitably pop up is that of KennyS. Despite him being only 25 years of age, KennyS has been at the top of the French scene for a long time, most recently playing for G2 Esports, where he unfortunately got benched. Let's dive into his past and try to predict his future. KennyS has been a pioneer for CSGO, as he started competing just a year before the release of Counter-Strike Global Offensive, doing really well at local LANs and quickly competing in international LAN events. One of those was Multiplayer Insomnia 45, which he won with Very Games, as well as the following iteration. With Global Offensive's release, Very Games were doomed to be in second place.
So, quick push this time round from Rattlesnake. Makes no difference. Gets dropped by KennyS, no problem whatsoever. But then tags back another man and will pick up the frag on MX now. That's 2 for him. And KennyS trying to get a third. Does get a third. Incredible from Kenny yet again.
Is it because they weren't good enough? Not really. It was mainly due to NIP being unbeatable on LAN. Getting second place at the first 4 LANs they attended, with NIP present, was actually a really significant performance. Despite the CSGO scene growing and stronger teams entering the fray, KennyS and Very Games were still able to take home another LAN title at the Mad Cats Invitational Birmingham. Slightly worse LAN results later on meant the end for our legend at Very Games, however, which turned into a frenzy of team hopping for nearly a year before he could finally find an organization he could stay at longer than just a few months. During this time, he also played 2 majors, both of which didn't really bring the success he wanted. KennyS finally got a more stable home. Titan Esports, a now discontinued organization, picked him up, yet they had a lot of issues with the roster in the early phase. This was of course due to the volatile nature of the French scene, often swapping around players and creating new super teams. The first major KennyS played with Titan didn't go all too well. ESL won Cologne 2014 ended with a disappointing 9th to 12th position, dropping out due to a 16-1 loss against Dignitas.
It was the team that was going to get the start at CT that would have the highest chance of taking this map right here. And now it is NBK alive 1v5. Gets 1 kill, the parting shot, but that is going to be it. Device ends him, and Team Dignitas will be securing the 2nd seed in Group D here.
And then we have Titan. They've been waiting all day to play this game, and they just couldn't do it. They deserved more of a chance than they got here.
Buy them some wine.
He was able to win the DreamHack Invitational 2 just a month after though, taking the first and only big title during his time with the organization. KennyS was also hurt deeply when Valve decided to nerf the AWP, his key weapon.
I agree that the AWP deserved the nerf, that was super powerful, but I think the nerf was too much, like they made it too slow. Since then my motivation has been super unstable.
The nerf made the weapon a more CT-opted weapon, forcing players to play more passive, something KennyS had issues with. Late 2015, a new French powerhouse was born. KennyS joined up with Team Envious and instantly struck gold. With a victory at the IEM Season 10 followed by a 2nd place at the ESL 1 Cologne 2015 Major, the way was paved for their own major victory. This long-awaited victory came just 3 months after the one in Cologne, with DreamHack Open Cluj-Napoca 2015 being the stage of the 3rd major of the year. The group stage was smooth sailing, however, it was followed by a tougher bracket. Both Fnatic and G2 Esports fell to a 2-1 score, followed by a 2-0 against Natus Vincere, a team KennyS had already beaten in the group earlier. KennyS was also awarded the Major MVP by HLTV to add to this already remarkable achievement. The performance did grow more inconsistent afterwards though, getting only 2 more S-tier wins with the organization. This turned into a transfer to G2 Esports early 2017. 2018 turned into a struggle for KennyS. Barely getting any good finishes turned into a lot of roster swaps. The choice was made to turn into a more international team during 2019, which has been added to with the pickup of both the Kova cousins. After the relatively decent season performance-wise in 2020, KennyS was swapped out and benched from the G2 roster and is now allowed to explore his options. Where will he go next? Only time will tell. We're willing to bet there are multiple teams who would love to welcome KennyS to their roster.